Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Spring Championships round of 64. This is game number 2 between GoodSpeed and Risi123. The first match, of course, went to GoodSpeed, who is possibly the favourite to win this particular set. Certainly a very good player, as I said, has been around for a long time, has actually written a whole bunch of guides, and is probably one of the big causes of why the meta is the way it is. Or at least he's documented it and observed it, and he's a good player, that is. But Risi could have had the potential to win that last one. There's a couple of different things he could have done differently. We'll see, though, what he can do in this particular game. Let's start with him. Here he is in the east of the map in the colour red, playing as the British. Starting with 200 wood, just the 1 coin. Going to go with that early market. Grabbing himself a 40 food treasure. Does have the 50 coin nearby. Going to be really quite useful for, of course, that hunting dogs upgrade. And also the fact that you do have to buy wood. And it is expensive to do that. You need a bit of extra coin to buy the wood. So, nice treasure to be starting the game with, not too bad. But opting for the market, some players, and me and Zeus have had that discussion before, whether you want 2 manas or a mana and a house. Sorry, a mana and a market plus the whatever anyway. In the other side of the map, in the colour orange, we do have Germany. GoodSpeed, here he is, starting with the 1 coin crate. Not going to collect that up. Has decided that that's going to be of no use to him. Isn't going to help him age up any faster. What's he going to do with that? No idea. He could go with the early market, potentially. I guess you could, like, if there was a coin treasure nearby, which there was 40 wood nearby. So I reckon you could have chose to go with the market. What does that say about him? What do you think he's up to? What is not going for a market?
I don't think it means anything just yet. I think Germany has trouble aging up when you do that type of stuff without a market, and so maybe without any treasures, rather. And I think he's just not confident in making the market just yet. Yeah, he'd rather just play it safe and get a house. Because if you get no treasures right now, you have to idle. Yeah. So that's not the best.
Decided perhaps the treasures weren't adequate enough to actually do that. Oh, picks up the sheep there, red pretty close by, and no, isn't going to get that back. I thought maybe it would convert back. I think he noticed red there and decided to go back, maybe trying to protect the sheep. Anyway. Yep.
He definitely was, that's something that you see a lot of players don't. A lot of people who are more new to the game may not recognize the value in the sheep, but they're one of the best. I mean, you get it they're free, and they give you a lot of instant food later on in the game. So,
and like a nice big power spike at some point in the game, which as Germany, I'm fairly certain will be really quite nice for him. Germany, do you want to talk about what Germany likes to do?
You know me, Jeremy likes to FF and then ship Wuhan. That's what they like to do.
They like to FF and ship Wuhan, absolutely. And the food is from the sheep could be really good later on. Obviously identifying that. Picking up, though, a native scout for Risi. Not too bad. Of course, British only have the 1 scouting unit. I really, really like the scout. I think I value it way more than other players do, especially civs like that. But scout going to be lots of information, going to be knowing what's going to be going on. Certainly could be quite good. But this is a matchup that I really like. And I say this about most vanilla matchups, but this one in particular, British, gonna boom, gonna be trying to get the extra villagers out, making the manas, gonna be sending the slow 700 wood shipment, perhaps the 5 villager shipment, gonna be trying to secure that economic advantage. But Germany, gonna be going up to the Fortress Age, has that really strong timing push due to those insane villager shipments, plus the free Yolan that you get from various aging. Those things always add to that extra push when you do finally push in. Going to be pushing in against this player who is booming, and it's going to be up to the British to hold the pressure. And that is the kind of matchup I like to watch.
Yeah, exactly. It's a cool kind of, if you're not playing mirrors, this is a pretty cool dynamic as well. Like when one civ's kind of established as the one who just needs to survive, and the other person needs to deliver the killing blow or do enough damage at some earlier time in the game.
Yeah.
And by the way, I wanted to mention too, I like the native scout a lot too. Like I'll always get native scout with 1 polar bear. Is just an amazing treasure for European civs.
Mm-hmm. Well, perhaps less for France and Dutch, but certainly a very good treasure for the civilizations in question.
You can use it for Age 1 combat too. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, in the same way that French does. It can be quite influential a lot of the time.
He could be on this Explorer right now, but obviously the Explorer's full HP, so it's not going to be too big of a deal.
Yep, but
it could have been.
Both players, well, yeah. If it had gone for some treasures and been half health, this could be a big deal. If you bring your explorer and the scout over, absolutely. But building that trading post, very indicative of this fast, fortress style gameplay.
It's not though. Look at GoodSpeed's Stellar Wagon. He's doing something sneaky, but unfortunately, he also walked right by a native scout, which is gonna just detect it.
Yeah.
Maybe he's faking it at this point. No, he's definitely not. He's totally going colonial right now.
Is he going? Why do you say that? Like, hold on, let me look at what he's gathering. Okay, he's put down a trading position. He's collecting wood for perhaps a barracks. Well,
no market yet either, and he would have a market by now.
Yeah, true. That is true, and yeah. Like I thought, okay, maybe he's collecting wood for steel traps, but no, there's no market. 400 wood on the floor. Gonna be doing perhaps double racks.
He's gonna have to delete that foundation.
Oh no, he's not. I thought that was on there too. Actually, now gonna start sieging. No, he's not. Okay, I feel like for Germany, double racks crossbow pike aggression is very difficult because since you have Yolans arriving with your shipments, it eats up so much pop slots, and like going double is really tough.
He's going single. Oh, he's going double.
He's going double. Okay.
All right. Man,
commit to the bit.
He's sending 700 wood then. That's for sure. Then I think he has to send 700, then 600. And why did he decide to make a market now? I mean, that's good that he finally realized he doesn't have a market, but that seems like almost he's a bit rusty to have it coming in that late.
Perhaps. I mean, I thought maybe he wants it out of his 400 wood, but then you'd build it. And if you were going to build it out of that, you'd just build it earlier and then build the barracks out of the 400 wood. But
what does he have in queue? Let's see what he's going to build.
Did he find a treasure that like influenced having a bit of extra wood? No, he did not.
I think it's just a little bit of a miss there, but it's not a big deal.
It's interesting, yeah.
He hasn't. I don't see anything in queue either for him, military-wise. I think he's just faking it. That'd be hilarious.
Is that viable?
I don't know, but it looks. I don't see anything coming out.
No, there's nothing in queue. These look completely useless.
He's faking it. That's like StarCraft 2 or a StarCraft level player. Like he's seen your barracks, so now you think they've done all they can just by existing on the map.
Yeah.
And now you're just gonna FF behind it. This is actually really
level
cool.
BS. That is hilarious. Okay, wow. I've never seen someone do that before in all the time that I've been casting.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes information is that important, though. So.
Wow, imagine if Red had not scouted them and just continued as if like they didn't exist, and then he's just spent 400 wood on doing nothing. But
yeah,
obviously
he would have made units if that was the case. Yeah. I like this adjustment quite a bit. Maybe that's why he dropped the market too. That's probably why he dropped the market, because he changed his plan. He's like, okay, well, I'll just use my extra wood for market techs, and I'll age up behind this with 700 coin probably coming in soon.
Yeah, that'll be the next shipment, no doubt. You can see he's got all the food, essentially. He needs to age up, and he switched the settler wagons onto coin, which I found fairly interesting at the time, because if you're going to crossbow pike, you don't need coin at all. Like, you're just sending really efficient shipments and collecting the most efficient resource you can get, which is obviously food, and making units, and the only coin you need is perhaps for hunting dogs and steel traps. But actually, yeah, it's for aging up, as you can see. Has a bit more food than he perhaps wanted. He'd like that coin shipment to arrive a little bit sooner. But it doesn't matter, it's here now. He's going to be aging up. His opponent's probably like, what on earth is going on? Where's this pressure? I'm expecting it. Has made a bunch of musketeers against it.
Do you think he's going to move out? I mean, I think if I were him, I would have moved out when my native scouts saw nothing. I would be like, okay, well, I'm just going to man up here and go at least test the waters here. But he's not. And GoodSpeed's aging up quickly, so he's not going to get punished by anything, and he's going to be up with double rack skirms and 9 Ulhan.
He's got the infrastructure for it. Like, this is really risky. Like, in reality, what should happen is if you build 2 Raxes in the middle map and then make nothing from them and just age up, your opponent has definitely the amount of musketeers he needs to knock these Raxes down.
He's coming to get him now. Yeah. But I think he won't get a batch out of the first Rax, but the second Rax will get 1 batch of skirms out. And it's okay to lose 1 Rax he got essentially an unharassed age up on Germany for 200 wood. I'll take it.
Oh, wow, okay. Do you think he might get the second one? That's going down super quick, and there's no way he'll get his military shipment out of his town centre over there. Like, even if it does arrive right now, it still has to walk over there, and the only possible thing that could come out of that barracks is 5 skirms. And his 5 skirms, like, do you think maybe, like, it's only just been queued? Only just now?
What I would do, only just now? What I would do if I were him would have been to, like, you move the muskets around and circle siege this almost and have Explorer and Hand Attack to catch the skirms when they come out. But I don't think they're going to make it out of this Rax, you're right. I think it's 2 Raxes going down here.
Wow,
and he's got a war wagon key, but where? It's like hidden stable in the woods. You know what's going to happen? Those war wagon are going to pop out and they're going to get stuck in the and then he's going to be so sad that he did that.
Wait, where is his stable? Oh, wow. They should be okay. If he sets the spawn point, like, if you right-click the stable and right-click, like, towards that coin mine, then they'll spawn on the correct side.
I don't know if all 5 of them could spawn. We'll find out. I mean, this is a key moment, I guess, is whether or not he can delete a stable.
I think there's a lot of space, actually, behind. There is a reasonable amount of space on the north side of the stable.
I mean, but really, look at it. This is not that bad, really. I mean, British is such a strong civ, which is the score advantage. But economically speaking, I mean, they're tied on bills and techs, and there's just a lot of muskets kind of not doing anything right now.
Are they
giving
tied?
GoodSpeed time.
Risi is 8 ahead.
Is that villager population or is it villager count? Oh, it is population. Okay,
Yeah.
never mind. Yeah, then he's behind. And okay, luckily the war wagons there's a back door way out of there. Otherwise, that fifth war wagon would have been caught. But look at this combination of units GoodSpeed has. This is exactly what beats Musket Hussars, Goon, and Skirm.
Yeah, and he's kind of, as he forced his opponent or tricked his opponent into doing that, perhaps.
Yeah, into just staying in his base. I mean, he's had 50 muskets for how long now? That could have been so brutal.
Yeah, his economy is very strong, and that's definitely the asset the British player has here. And yes, his economy is better, and for that reason he's going to have more units, and he's going to be able to do quite well against the German player. But what we need to consider is the fact that Germany is in the Fortress Age, has skirmishers, which are a direct counter to musketeers with that ×2 damage, and the massive range they can kite against these musketeers. And of course, War Wagons, super strong unit, 42 ranged attack, 500 hit points as a standalone unit. Yes, it's expensive, but that's a really good unit. Plus the ×3 damage versus the cavalry, the hussars, which is essentially what is being made here by the British player. They have the units they're making are so hard countered by the German player, who's able to create these tech units that he's up the next stage for.
Yeah, see, I've been told that war wagons beat musket hussars, so I guess we'll see now. Like this is like the perfect opportunity to go. But now longbow are coming into the fray as well. So
yeah.
With the longbow there as well, I'm not sure how effective war wagons will be.
Yeah, longbowmen quite good against. Of course, they're the hard counter to ranged cavalry, such as dragoons and war wagons.
Look at this kiting job, though. I mean, he's migrating very well.
Such kite. Wow.
He can fight that. Yeah,
yep.
Fight that.
You can catch those longbowmen. They're a bit out of position. Bring the cav forward, but now he's going to get back. Yeah, I don't think he'll take it now. They're a bit too close to the musketeers, but it's worth late.
They regrouped with the muskets too. You see how they're sprinting, that's huge.
Yeah. But still, perhaps going to catch 2 there for free. Not too bad. A little bit passive here. Red doesn't want to take it on. He knows his opponent has skirmishes, and he's like, I don't really want to do that. And maybe he's waiting for a few more cavalry from his stable, or perhaps a few more longbowmen from his double barracks. I don't know what he's waiting for. Maybe he's waiting for something. Or maybe he just knows the longer this game goes on, the more in favour it shifts to him because of his superior economy, and he just wants to prolong the game, let Germany just take his time.
I think he just realizes how badly he needs a longbow. There's now 10 more wagons on the field.
Oh, and Schooners has just arrived. That kind of explains why he's holding back. He's like, I'm investing in my economy, not my military. I'm gonna hold back and just buy as much time as possible. Do you think? But also the reason you said he wants longbow.
If those guys get caught, that's gonna undo. Like he's gonna have to, all his dock boom will do is just like replace those vills. But they get out. I'm surprised that not even a single one died.
No, he got away with that. That's for true. Yeah, I guess maybe he thinks, oh, I'm running out of food, but then no, he's not running out of food. He's got a herd in the back that'll last him. And then by the time these docks are up, he'll have plenty of food incoming.
Yeah.
What does Germany need to do? I feel like Germany up to Fortress, sacrificed his economy for this fast age, and he lost, 400 wood worth of production facility. Is it this point he just has to poke in with the skirm? Does he have to pressure? Do you think he can?
I think that what I'd be afraid of is just lots of longbow, which is exactly what Risi's doing. I don't know what you really do here. It's kind of hard to poke. Like if you're gonna go in, you're not gonna poke for economic damage at this point. Look at where the vills are located.
Yeah.
There's no economic damage to be done. I don't like this raid at all, actually.
Yeah.
People like to raid a lot, but
losing all your cav to raid is always sketchy because if you need them back home to defend. But having said that, there are a lot of villages that haven't moved, and more cav means more damage, and I think it's going to pay off this particular time. But for most, on average, you don't want to send every cavalry unit you have. Yeah. One settler wagon goes down, that's 2 villages. Essentially,
war wagons, are they going to react? 4. There they go.
Yeah.
There go the war wagon.
Oh, but war wagons are so slow. Dragoons are so much better at
popping out.
Yeah, 9 Yolan shipment arrives though. That's going to clear this up. Going to force these cavalry away. Especially if
and 5 more war wagon. No,
that's true.
It's gonna come down to basically there's gonna be a big fight now. It's gonna have to happen.
Yeah.
As GoodSpeed because you've just lost your entire economy. So you need to win the game now. With your army, which is very possible. Look at how many war wagon there are.
That's a lot of war wagon. When they're massed up, it's the same sort of syndrome where you're like Mamelukes in the sense that you have to really focus those things down because if you spread the damage across all of them, you just don't kill any because they have so many hit points. War wagons function similarly to that because of the amount of hit points. But yes, you're absolutely right. As you have to push the fight here. You've just lost a whole bunch of villages. That's really not good. But also, your opponent's just lost all their cavalry. And I think Orange just came off really well from that because he knows he killed a bunch of cavalry and didn't really lose much himself. Military-wise, this is where you go. Absolutely.
This is one of those times where I'd be under TC because I messed up. I let 15 bills die, so now you got to get a little bit like scrappy and just go and force him to make a play now.
Oh my goodness, 73 villagers to British. That includes the fishing ships, of course, but only 26 to GoodSpeed. Like, you have to take the fight. You can't do it.
But
like,
see how there's no Hussar on like there's no more Hussar there. There's no, and that's going to be a difference for this fight.
Yep. Here we go. The longbowmen gonna get surrounded by the cavalry. They're gonna come in, try and get a nice surround. I don't think he's managed to do it though. I think the musketeers, I'd like to see them being pulled through. Actually though, the Minutemen being popped out there, he's not in a good position with the cavalry. The longbowmen are completely fine. They're just gonna do a ton of damage sitting there. He's completely happy with that. There's no cavalry really for these war wagons to be doing anything.
This is fine for GoodSpeed. Really fine, really fine.
Yeah. It looks okay.
The muskets are disappearing right now.
Yeah? Alright. There are so many war wagons. He doesn't need to worry. Those things are so big. 42 ranged attack. 500 hit points. He's just going to get steamrolled here. Knocked over. And I just felt like, Risi resigns. That concludes... Okay. Alright. Well, there we go. GoodSpeed takes the second game. Ending this best of 3. Putting GoodSpeed through to the round of 32. I thought, like, earlier in the game, he was just, like, sitting back. And it just felt like, you've done this fast fortress style build. The British is clearly better at booming than you. You need to, like, go and push. But as you were saying, like, you don't really... I mean, what can you do? And he held out long enough, and it's sort of worked.
Yeah, definitely. And GoodSpeed's, like, the king of timings. Like, a lot of players have, like, little signatures that you can, like, know what they're going to do. GoodSpeed's is very much, like, the king of timing. He'll, he finds a time in the game where his civ is optimal, and then he does, like, this type of thing, like he just attacks, and it's going to be winner, like make or break at that point. But the timings are usually like really good. Like that timing did a lot of damage.
Yeah, and if you look at it, 8 skirm, 7 skirm, 9 Yolan, 8 Yolan, very strong stuff. Lots of military shipments out, whereas your opponent sent like 5 Vils, 4 Vils, schooners. Nothing military-wise that is really slow, and that takes a while to pay off. I think, for some of the earlier shipments, certainly they would have paid off, but things like schooners and even this Glorious Revolution, like, what does that do? I think, this is the really, really strong timing pushes you just mentioned. Well done to GoodSpeed, going through to the next round. Risi is eliminated, but at least he made the round of 64, which is more than I can say for some of the tournaments in the past. But though having said that, PK Clan Tournament 3, I made the round of 64. Just going to point that out. Steamrolled some Lieutenant Colonels to get there. Almost beat F12 felony at level 40 at the time, but I didn't manage to beat him, but it was close. But this isn't about me. Well done to GoodSpeed. Going to head on out of this game.